So last year I went to Costco warehouses and found a drone there for under $100 Canadian and made a couple videos about it. Now those videos turned out to be fairly popular, with the one getting over 50,000 views. And so I figured that this year I might as well do the same thing for you guys. Went to Costco warehouses, picked up a drone, and brought it home. Now here's the thing. It looks almost identical to the one I picked up last year with a different name. So here's my question. Is it really just the same drone? Or is there actually something setting these two apart? Let's find out. Hey everyone, welcome back to GeForce. I can't believe it's been a whole year since I did the video on the 2500, and I am so ready to get back into it. Now, one of the complaints last year was the fact that I made 2 videos for one drone, and while I was just trying to be thorough, it does get a little bit tedious to watch. So today we're going to make it short. We're going to do a quick video. It's not going to be as in-depth as the last one, but I don't think it needs to be, because all I'm doing today is trying to figure out, are these two actually different drones, or have they just used the same drone and just marketed it differently? Now, I actually kept the box from the 2500, and as you can see here, similarities are just like, they just don't stop. So they do look very similar, but I did notice 2 differences between the features on these 2 drones that they have on the box. So number one, let me put this up over here. So this is the 2500. This here is the 2680. Now, I don't know where they picked those numbers out of, but that's what it is. So first of all, yeah, I guess we have the name of the drones a little bit different. So the 2 things I noticed was this one, the new one, has supposedly a better camera. It's still a 1080p like HD camera. But this one is wide angle, and what did they say? It's like 115 degree lens versus 45 degree lens. So we're gonna have to check that out and see. I did notice, from what I can see just looking through the front of the box, it does look like a better camera, but we will test that out. And now the second feature is one I'm quite curious about. Is it's called New Flight Training Mode and Range Warning for Beginner Pilots. Now that's new to me, and I do not know what that all entails, but we will check that out as well. All right, so we're going to start off here with a super quick unboxing in which I try to redeem my previous effort of unboxing the 2500, which was a total disaster. All right, so let's get started with an unboxing here. First, I'm going to have to cut this little piece of tape to get the box open. Start sliding it out. It's going to, of course, be harder than it's supposed to be. Okay, so I just realized it says open from bottom, so that's what we're going to do. We'll take careful note of the open from bottom sticker on the top of the box. We'll flip it over. Here we've got our accessories box. We have our manuals in both French and English, since I do live in Canada. We have a little desk in here for whatever reason. Got some very important pieces of cardboard, apparently. Probably for scanning to get the app. Now we've got the accessories here, which are apparently glued to the bottom of the box. And oh, look, it's already cut open. Normally there'll be a battery right in the top, but this isn't normal unboxing since I got into the box earlier to charge up the battery. So forget about that. There will be a battery right at the top here. We've got our batteries for the remote, I assume. The spare props, which are always handy. A little adapter for the SD card. A little screwdriver. And our phone mount that clips onto the remote, or the radio, as I should be saying. Next step is, then we can pop this, well, actually we can slide this whole thing out. Let's do it. There we go. All right, so here we have our drone and our radio, and there should be, yes, there is tape on the back here. All right, there's our drone. Put it right there for now, so we get the radio out. Okay, so now we got our radio out. We can take the drone out of the packaging. These little thumb screws at the bottom. Undo. You weren't cutting corners on this packaging, I must say. And finally, there we got our drone. So now with the 2680 out of the box, you can more clearly see the differences between these two drones, starting with the grills here. So this is the 2500, and you can see it kind of has a very basic sort of grill right there, but then you go to the 2680 and the grill has a solid line in the middle leading to a power button that's also different from the 2500. I guess these are just minor things, they probably don't matter. You can see here talking about things that don't matter.
Whoa, that was weird.
Let's check out the cameras here. I'll pick them up. 2680 still rotates 90 degrees just like the 2500, but if you have a close look there, you can see the lens on the 2680 is much bigger than on the 2500. So that's kind of encouraging, and I can't wait to try it out. Moving on to the remotes now, nothing's really different. I put the holder on the new 2680. I can't get used to saying this 2680 thing, but got the holder on the remote and the radio. And only thing I could see here is all the buttons are the same, but the color scheme, I think they reversed. The similarities, they both still have the nice folding design, which I like, and the optical flow sensor on the bottom that keeps the drone really steady, and in the general same position you have it hovering in, which I think for a drone that's under $100 is a great feature, and I really love it. I think that's what really makes these drones worth it. So I guess that's about it for the comparison between the two drones, and I guess it's time to move on to the field test as soon as the batteries are done charging. Alright, so after hours of waiting, the batteries for these two drones are finally charged up, and I've got to say, I'm pretty sure it takes longer than the 130 to 150 minute charging time advertised in the manual. But however it is, they're charged up now, and I'd like to start with a few compatibility tests to see how similar these two drones actually are. Starting with seeing if these batteries are interchangeable. Now, they seem to be, from the specs written right on the battery, they're both 3.8 volts, 1900 milliamp hours. However, when I looked online, the part number for these two batteries are different at King's Drone, which is where I've linked spare batteries for these two drones. So I've given you two links, one for each drone. I'm pretty sure they're going to be the same. So let's give them a try. I'm going to swap them and see if the new battery fits in the older drone. And I mean, they're identical shapes, so they fit just fine. Identical shape and size. And then the old battery fits into the new drone. Let's see if they power on. They do just fine. This one's got a little more blue lights, but yep, you can see they power on just fine. And I guess I should say the only difference I was able to see between these two batteries was that the charging lights are slightly different. On the 2500, its battery just has a little red light that turns off when it's done charging, whereas with the 2680, the little red light actually turns green to let you know it's done charging. So nice little touch, inconsequential. Now we're going to move on to the remotes, the radios, to see if they link up with both drones at the same time, or if they're on separate channels, so they'll only control one drone at a time, which would be ideal. And I'm really curious about this. So we'll start with the remote that came with the 2500 and see if it only links up to that or links up to both. Hit the power button here. So far, the lights have changed on only the 2500. We'll bind. Yep. All right, so they seem to be on different channels. Let's fire up the one for the 2680, and let's see. Oh, I need to link it. There we go. So they do appear to be on different channels, which is a good thing. All right, so the third thing I wanted to try is to see if they both use the same app or not. I really got to check that out. So after looking in the manual, I found out that these two drones actually use separate apps for the camera. So I've got the new one for the 2680 installed in my phone, which we will try in a few minutes. However, while I was in here, I found out a little bit more about the 2 extra features that the new drone has over the old, and that is first the upgraded camera, and then the training mode and range warning. So the training mode basically just limits the movement of the drone, the altitude from about maybe a couple feet in the air to ceiling height, so that if you're flying it indoors, which I don't think is recommended, but if you were, then it kind of keeps you from hitting the ceiling, things like that. So interesting feature. And the second one is range warning. So apparently if it gets to be over 50 feet up in the air, it will automatically start beeping from the remote and warning you that the range is coming to the end. So to bring the drone back, and it has some sort of fail-safe where if it loses control of the remote, it will automatically come back down and land. I am tempted to try that later, but that might be risky, so we will see. But you know, I'm kind of impressed with the features they are able to put into these drones. This one now has 9 features mentioned on the box, as opposed to this one has only 7. And keep in mind, I paid the same price. I'm pretty sure I paid the identical price for these drones. It was $89.99 at Costco for both these drones, Canadian. So pretty impressive with what they're able to do with technology these days. I remember my first drone, probably about 6 years ago, was RC Pro 6, which is kind of like a Sima drone. And I think we paid over $130 for it, and it had none of this optical flow or any of those sorts of features, and the camera wasn't even that good, but at the time it was a pretty good drone for a pretty good price. And now look at these for under 100. You get so many more features. So I'm liking where these cheap budget drones are going, but talking isn't going to test out these features, so let's get to it.
All right, so we're running out of light and out of time here, and it's getting cold. So for today, I'm just going to do a quick flight of the ASC 2680 and see how it does. I've got this year a new Insta360 OneRS. Let me know how it looks in the comments below. And over here, I've also got a new phone. This is my one complaint. Last year, the old 5S I had fit just fine into this phone holder with the case on. However, with the case I got for this phone, it will not fit, so I have to take the case off. That would be one complaint, phone holders on these remotes. But without any further ado, let's do a quick flight and see how everything looks here. And I'll put you on screen record so you can see what's going on here too. All right, and we're linked up. Let's go to our app and press start. Record video and photos. Allow. Oh, cool. There we are. Wow, it is a wide angle. Look at that. You can see the propellers. See my feet there. See my Crocs. Very fashionable. Okay, let me step out of the way here and let's take off, see how it goes. And we're up. I just launched it manually without pressing the automatic takeoff and landing button. See how this looks. Wow, that is really good. Look at that. You could probably put a stabilizer on it. Huh. Smooth signal, even though I noticed it has a smaller antenna than the other one. Hovers pretty smooth. All right, let's put it in training mode and I'll show you what it does here. Hold down the speed button for 3 seconds. It starts flashing. All right, let me bring it a little ahead so the camera can see here. I'm not sure how well you can see it, but there's the drone, and if I go up, it stops at a certain height. And I go down, and it also stops right there. It won't go any lower. So that's just to kind of help you if you're learning to fly. Oh, now it's too low. That's the one risk with this training mode is I find in windy situations, if you have to get out of it, it can be kind of a handicap. So I'll take it out of the mode, put on 3rd speed, which I prefer for speed, and let's go up and have a look at things. See if I can tilt the camera up so I can have a look here. See it right there? Let's go up a little higher. Oh, there's some geese. Let's check out the geese.
Wow, this is really good. Can't believe how good these things are getting. Woo! Look at that. That's a All right, let's quickly change the camera angle here. Pretty amazing. You can tell it's a very wide angle lens. Oh, my fingers are so cold. I'm sure they're going blue. Ooh, probably like 5 degrees out here. Here's our garden. You can see that. That's pretty cool there. Wow. I think this is pretty well the best drone I've ever flown. For under $100, that's a deal.
Alright, so it's another day, and I finally have some daylight to work with. Time change was only like a week ago, so you can blame it on that. But in any case, I have some time now to fly these two drones, and by that I actually mean I'm going to try to do both at the same time so you have as good a camera comparison test as possible. They're filming at the same light, same time, same direction. So without further ado, let's give it a try. The old ASC 2500 is on my right, and the new ASC 2680 is on my left. And as you see, I have them folded up. So as I unfold them, I'm going to tell you about the SD cards, micro SD cards to be specific. The new ASC 2680 has the same port as the old one. And as far as I can tell, everything works the same with the exception of in the app for the new ASC 2680, you can actually access the SD card from the phone, which I think is pretty cool. I was having a micro SD card issue with it, so we'll see if it works today. Hopefully it will, but I thought that was a neat little feature. Otherwise, the app seems to be pretty much the same as the old ASC 2500. Yeah, the remotes have a little bit of a different sound. Okay, so both of them are powered up now, and this will also be a little bit of a battery life test to see how long the flight time is on both of them, since they'll be up in the air for about the same amount of time. We're first going to start with the old 2500. And we do have a little bit of a breeze today out here on the property where I've got my plywood board, so we'll see how this goes. It's up, it's up. I'm going to send it up a little. I don't want to hit my head. Alright, it's hovering. Let's switch over real quick now to the other one. Hit record, and let's take off. Alright, I've switched over to the hat cam here. And I was having a little trouble with it, so while I was messing with the camera, drones drifted around a little bit. There's the 2680 and there's the 2500. But they're actually not doing too bad considering there's a breeze. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring them closer and then face them at each other. First we'll do the 2680. I gotta remember which remote it is here, and there it is. We're just going to turn it to look this way. Okay. We'll take the 2500, turn it around, up a little bit. Whoop. Now it wants to drift around. This might take a minute. Wow, this is working better than I thought. Oh, what's it doing? Whoa, it's beeping and it's going away. What's happening here? That was weird. It just started beeping and all of a sudden was heading off into the gravel pit there. That was strange. Oh boy, it's doing the same thing. It doesn't want to back up. Whoa! Where's it going? Ah! What just happened? It went wild. That was weird. It just went straight into the workshop. What just happened? Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Okay, let's try this again. It doesn't want to take off now. Whoa. Huh. Okay, let's totally reset this. There's something wacky going on. Let's try this again. Going up very slowly. Huh. It's just doing a whole lot of beeping. It's like it's in a whole different mode or something. What's going on? It was working fine yesterday. It doesn't hardly want to move now. And it won't stop. What is going on with this thing? It will not shut off. Shut off! This thing is going absolutely crazy.
After having thought once or twice I had fixed the problem, I really was actually no closer figuring out what had happened. In fact, later, when I brought the drone into the workshop for troubleshooting, it was behaving even more badly than ever, with the remote constantly beeping and certain functions not working, like automatic takeoff and landing and speed change. Moreover, when you press down on the right joystick, it is supposed to automatically take a picture or video. However, now when you pressed it down, it would launch the drone and send it off in a random direction. As you can see, I was finally able to get the drone up into the air, but it soon became totally unmanageable, and to make matters worse, the emergency shutoff would randomly refuse to work, causing what I would consider a very dangerous situation. Outside ended up to be not much better. All controls were sluggish, as if the drone were in some sort of limp mode, and as you can see here, I did not even have enough control to keep it from drifting into our garden. It's possible that one of the new features it has may be at fault. I love all that they were able to do with this drone, but reliability may be its one downside. This is me giving it a thumbs down. Well, this video's turned out to be quite the disaster. It's a shame really, because I was loving the ASC 2680. It was doing so well up to a point, and you know, I was able to get it up in the air for a few minutes in the end, and I've got to say, the video quality is night and day over the 2500. You know, the colors are deeper, everything's cleaner and smoother, the field of view is much wider, everything's just more refined about it, and not just the video. I felt like they got the optical flow nailed. It is much more steady and smooth. The controls are also smoother, and I think the drone might even have a little bit more power. So they did a good job at ironing out some of the wrinkles. However, I think the one thing they've messed up is the reliability. It was just such a shame. But you know, I did everything I could to try to solve the problem, and in the end, I think it's the remote's fault. Something has gotten so messed up in there. The controls won't work, it's constantly beeping, you never know what it's going to do next. So unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to return this drone to the store. But don't worry, because I will do an exchange and give it a try, and I'll let you know. I'll post an update and let you know if it's doing any better, if maybe this was just a lemon. I'm really hoping it is, because it seems to be such a good drone. But for now, I present to you the world's fastest and probably first reboxing.
Now another train.